Hey everybody, Coolin' on Manga here, right now reviewing Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 63. Alright, so this week's episode, I'm still mad that it didn't show that Gon was amazing at, Jean Campon, but oh well. This episode was very good, very well done. I liked the fight. I liked I liked the episode. It was okay. It was a good episode. All right, simple as that. It was good. Gon and Killua. Basically, this episode deals with Gon and Killua finding a new master. Biscuit Kruger, a pro hunter and the former master of their master, Wing. Now, we find out that Biscuit is over 50 years old. Okay, her body is insanely strong, like insanely refined. Like the fact that she is very small and looks like a little girl is completely a ruse to trap people into thinking that she is weak. However, she's devastatingly strong and will kill you in one punch if she uses Nen. So this episode was good. I liked how she finished off the scissor guy in this episode. Well, in this anime overall, the way she, when they went to fight, she just grabs the scissor guy, flips him up, boom, just palm slams him right in the stomach, alright, just devastating. That was awesome. He's just spits up like all, good scene. Very good animation this week. Gon and Killua showing their strengths with their rocks. But some training's coming up. They'll probably get through it really fast because, again, this arc's going by really fast. Very, very fast. In my opinion, too fast. But what can I do? I'm not the director. I'm not Madhouse, the producers. I can't be like, hey, yo, you got to start making this stuff a bit longer. Make episodes last, or make some chapters last a whole episode or so. But overall, yeah, good episode. So, chapter summary. Fuck me, man. Episode summary. Goddamn, if this was a Hunter x Hunter chapter summary, I'd love this, man. I'd be going insane right now. But anyways, episode summary. We start the episode off. Gon, Killua, Biscuit. They're talking. Basically Killua's like, yo, we don't need you to train us. We got a master, okay? And Biscuit's just completely trashing them. You guys are nothing right now. You will die if you continue on in this game. She basically shows them that the little ball thing that was so fast, that was jumping around everywhere, is only a level D. It's only D rank. Any other player, or most of the other players in this game, would have had a relatively easy time getting this card. And Gon and Killua simply couldn't do it. So she states that they must be trained by her if they want to continue playing the game. Killua's like, no, we got a master. Wing, yeah. Gon's like, yeah, Wing's our master. And Biscuit's like, oh, Wing, you mean that shrimpy guy, never tucks in his shirt, messy hair, whatnot, glasses. She says that basically she's his ex-master. She taught him how to use Nen, and so if she teaches them, it'll still be like their master's teaching them, since their master learned everything from Biscuit. So Killua no longer has an argument, and he kind of has to go along with it. Gon tells Biscuit that the reason why they're here is because they're trying to complete a game Greed Island, the game that his father made. He says that his father's Jin Freaks, and Biscuit's like, Jin? Jin's your father? And she states that Chairman Nachiro once said that in all the world, Jing is in the top 5 Nen users. So, yeah. Clearly, Jing, very strong, very beastly. If you haven't read the manga, Jing's a beast. Straight up. Okay? We haven't even seen his power yet. And we know he's a beast. Just the look of him. It's just like, yo, I don't give a shit. But anyways. Biscuit tells Gon and Killua to sit down and act like they're talking normally. Because she has noticed a person that is watching them. A person with the urge to kill is watching them. So she makes a plan that they will split up, and basically she'll lure him to a crater, and Gon and Killua will meet up with them after. So they split up after Biscuit slaps Killua out of nowhere. Killua states that he couldn't even sense the slap, even though he was alert. Well, he couldn't sense the slap until his cheek started to sting. Biscuit goes alone one way, Gon and Killua go alone the other way. And, what do you know, Scissor Guy goes the way of Biscuit. He confronts Biscuit. Oh, next scene you see, he has Biscuit's hair in his hand. Apparently he just cut it off. He starts eating her hair, and he states that whoever's hair he eats, he's able to gain the knowledge, the complete knowledge of their body. He will even know things that you don't know about your body. So he eats her hair, and he quickly realizes that Biscuit's a beast beyond his comprehension, and he must, as a warrior, he feels that he must fight her hand to hand, simply because of his pride. So he fights. She does her little flippy maneuver, palm thrust, destruction. He gets utterly dominated. Gon and Killua come down. They say that all they saw was her grab him and like flip him around. And she says, okay, fine. You guys are going to fight him, and in 2 weeks, if you don't win against him, you're going to be punished. And to the guy, to the Scissor Guy, if you don't beat them in 2 weeks, you're going to die. If you try to run, you're going to die. If you survive against these 2 kids for 2 weeks, you can go free. If you don't, you'll die. If you pass out, you'll die. If you can't continue to fight, you'll die, basically. So she forces him to fight with them, and he says, okay, you said I had to stay alive, or I have to stay awake and fight these kids for 2 weeks. You didn't say I couldn't kill them. So he goes on the offensive trying to kill Gon and Killua. Killua jumps in, realizes that this guy's movements are too fast for him, even though he's injured. And so Gon and Killua kind of take turns going in and out at him, trying to hit him, but they have no chances on him because his scissors can cover every which way that Gon or Killua go. Killua picks up some rocks and he's like, all right, Gon, you rest. I'll start throwing these rocks at him, and then whenever I'm tired, you'll go. Gon says, oh, no, never mind. I got an idea too. He punches a rock, and it's just completely rubble after this. Gon shifts through the rubble. He grabs a rock, a boulder, and he kind of jumps towards the scissor guy using the boulder as a shield. Now, a few days go by. I think it's like 3 days that go by, and Gon and Killua are starting to get faster. The entire field is covered in rocks now because they have both grabbed rocks and tried to attack him with them. So now the field is no longer open to plain sight. You have to look between rocks, around rocks. There's a lot of cover now. Killua ends up putting down the scissor guy, and Gon says, whoa, it's only been a few days. Let's keep this up until we can each take him down alone. And so they continue to fight. And this goes on for about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. About 12 days. And finally, after Gon and Killua are just completely obliterating this guy, at first they think that he's moving slower, but then they find out that, no, this guy's moving the same speed he always has been. If not, he might even be faster. They have just gotten extremely fast. And the guy basically collapses. He's like, I can't go on. Just kill me now. Please. But Gon says, no. We're not going to kill you. You helped us. You helped us reach a level that we wouldn't have been able to reach without you. Okay, basically, without him, Gon and Killua probably would have died later on in the game. Because now they have actual battle experience against someone who's literally trying to kill them for 2 weeks. The scissor guy says, the scissor guy first, he remembers a bunch of shit about his past. You know, how he found a wallet on the floor, a wall on the ground in slums, and 2 rich people thought that he was like robbing them just because he was a poor kid, and that's just what poor kids do, I guess. And they beat the shit out of him. And so yeah, he says that he never actually wanted this to be his life. Then we have Gon saying, no, we're not going to let you die, you know. And Biscay agrees. She says, you can go free. He says that he's going to turn himself in, and he leaves. We then see, then Biscay says, all right, we're going to Macedore, which is the city of spells. You can buy spell cards, monster cards, and you can buy any kind of card there, basically, except for designated slot cards. So they end up going there. It takes them about a few hours, and you see them walking through everything, like a beach, the mountains again, grassland. They end up getting to Macedore, and they're in a store looking at all the cards that they can buy. And Biscuit comes back, and she's like, all right, let's go back. We're going back to that crater. They're like, what? So they end up going back to the crater, and Biscuit uses Gain to basically gain the cards that she had just bought. And it reveals that there's wheelbarrows, shovels, lights, you know, basically mining gear. Gon and Killua she then tells Gon and Killua that they're going immediately back to Macedore, except they're going straight through. And they're going to have to dig through every single mountain and, well, pillar of rock that they come to. Gon and Killua start digging, and they realize that the rock is not as hard as they thought it would be, but it's still hard. And they get about halfway through the first rock, and they're tired as hell. But Gon realizes that they can strengthen the equipment they're using with Nen. So basically, manipulation training. This is basically manipulation training and stamina training. So they're using manipulation to strengthen the tools, and they're building stamina by constantly using aura on an object and constantly shoveling back and forth. So Gon and Killua finally end up making it through the first half, or the first pillar, and they are completely dead, and they're about to fall. They're about to go to sleep, but Biscay says, all right, from now on, you guys, whenever you sleep, you're going to have to hold rocks over your head. and they start off slow with small rocks, and she says that you're gonna have to keep yourselves awake enough to not let these rocks fall on your head while you sleep. I'm also gonna try and cut the rocks while you sleep, so be alert. Kaluuya's, he's thinking, yeah, my dad had me do this so many times whenever I was a kid, whatever. But Gon, on the other hand, can't do it at all. The rock keeps falling, and by the next morning, his head's just completely covered in bumps. Biscay says that every night she's going to continuously, add more to the boulders, or add more weight to the rock, and Gon's rock is considerably larger than Kaluuya's at this point, simply because he's dropped it so many times, and he drops it again, and it cracks his head. But that's the end of the episode, and we get an awesome ending song. Then we have, the ending theme, whatnot. We have an explanation about the blue planet. They basically didn't say anything about the blue planet. But that's the gem that Biscay is after, and that's the reason why Biscay's in the game. To get the blue planet and take it out of the game, because she's a gem hunter. So yeah, overall it was a good episode. I liked the animation. I liked the fight scene with Biscay and this other guy. Overall, I liked the episode, I gotta say. Hopefully the next few episodes, maybe they take a bit more time to identify all the cards, because there's going to be a lot of cards being used in the next few episodes, and especially whenever Gon and Killua go and start collecting cards. I hope they continue and give more an explanation on the cards, because that would be nice. But anyways, Coolin' on Manga here. Rate, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Peace out.